Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tanya Jude Moore. This is the 25th anniversary of the Sedona International Film Festival. Special thanks to Digitech, Blackmagic Design, and the Sedona Rouge for being our sponsors this year. We're winding down toward the end of the week with another big day. This is Dale Griffiths Stamos in the seat. Let's talk about your movie, Dirty Little Secrets.
All right.
What about it? Tell me about it.
Well, a lot of people have been asking where the idea came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you'll be showing the trailer in a moment, but it's basically the story of a psychologist who is court-appointed. She's a forensic psychologist, and she has an appointment, her first appointment, with this gentleman who's very handsome, very charming,
Mm-hmm.
very wealthy, and he's been convicted of domestic abuse. But he's denying it.
Well, let's see the trailer,
yes.
and then we'll get into a deep
Yes.
discussion about this one, because I think it's very timely. So let's watch the trailer.
I think so, too.
What made me so sure I could do this?
I didn't do that.
We're not here to talk about me, Mr. Berenger.
Nick.
Nick. You seem pretty sure of yourself.
What do you expect when I'm innocent?
So you keep saying.
You're way out of your league here.
There's only one type of individual I deal with.
We're not in the courtroom now, are we?
I know that little boy in your head, Nick. The one that you will do anything to shut up. There's the real Nick.
Narcissism is prevalent in our society today, and you are
Yes.
putting it on screen.
Yes, I am. And what I found really fascinating, because I began to do some research, this came from a friend calling me, and she had married this guy who, on the surface, appeared to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
He had everything.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful home, charming man. He could charm the pants off of anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And she called me to say that he'd beaten her up. And we were all shocked. I didn't, I knew her better, but we were all shocked. And I began to also research domestic abuse in affluent families,
Mm-hmm.
because it's bad enough wherever it occurs. But when you have an affluent and powerful man, and this is where I think it's timely,
Mm-hmm.
because we are seeing a lot of that in government reports, in the case of celebrities, so forth.
Yes.
It's very often the case that the woman is not believed.
Correct.
And so I decided to create a psychologist who would actually come from a marriage just like that. At the beginning of the film, she says, yes, that's the one, to her best friend. And it's because she's about to work with someone who was pretty much the spitting image of the man that she had been abused by.
Mm.
And she decided that she knows, the ticking heart
Mm-hmm.
of this kind of man better than most would.
Mm-hmm.
Because as she says at the end, she knows him.
Mm-hmm.
And she decided that this would be her specialty.
Well, and I love how convincing he is.
Yeah.
I mean, you're totally buying into he's innocent. And
Yeah.
how easily we are fooled by how manipulative they are. They're really playing a character. How did you cast this? I mean, what made him get the role in her?
Now, I had pre-cast her because I had worked with her on another short film that was actually here last year. And she had starred in a full-length play that I had written. And I was so impressed with her acting. This was not written for her, but when I began to cast it, I thought, okay, I want Jane Hyde to play the role. We went through a whole casting session to find the character to play Nicholas.
Mm-hmm.
And that was not easy. There were a lot of men who came in for the role. This was really the only man that I knew was right. He walked into the room and I knew he was right, just the way he walked in. He has to be so charming that you do have this initial reaction to him, like, oh my, look at him.
Yeah, there's
You know,
no
like
way he could have done
Yeah,
that.
there's no way. And look at how, and he's so smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he flirts with her from the very beginning because he gets his way with women.
Mm-hmm.
And he is so convinced that she is below him in terms of class, in terms of her life experience, which is to deal with these, as he says, you're dealing with criminals, gangbangers,
Right.
the scum of the earth. And of course, when she ends up telling him that, no, that's not who she deals with abusive men exclusively,
Yes.
it starts to rip down his mask.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the process that she's going through. What I loved about her as an actress is the subtlety of her acting.
Yes.
There's this one line where he refuses to look at the picture of his wife after the abuse. And he says, I didn't do that. And she just says, I need you to look at it. And it's just such a perfect, moment. And what's funny is that, not to pull the curtain away, but the actor Daniel Brunner Hall, who played this role, is the sweetest guy in the world. I mean, even when we were rehearsing and he would get, dangerous with her, he would say, no, I didn't hurt you, did I?
Oh.
I mean, let me know if there's, if I crossed any kind of line. He was just a sweetheart of a guy. And so the thing I worried about most was getting him to the place of danger.
Yes.
Because he had the warmth and charm. But we were able to get him there.
Well, I think you've done an outstanding job. How was your
you.
screening here?
Oh, it was wonderful. We had a really nice screening, and I think the thing that made me the most pleased was, when you're writing outside your own field of expertise, you're really trying to be as authentic as possible. Mm-hmm. And there was a psychologist in our audience who basically said, I could hear myself saying the lines that she said.
Wonderful.
And then a psychiatrist stopped me later and said, you painted the perfect portrait of a narcissist and how you break through to a narcissist with the truth. Mm. And so of all the comments I received, and we did receive some really nice ones, those two meant the most to me because I realized, okay, I hit home with somebody who's in the field.
Yes. Yes. Well, you're a veteran here at the Sedona International Film Festival. I love having you here.
Thank
You're one of
you.
my favorites.
Thank you.
What was it like getting the call that you got into the 25th anniversary?
Well, I was thrilled on two levels. One, I love coming back here. This is my fourth time here, and it's always been short films. Mm-hmm. But I've now started directing. I was writing. The other short films I got in here were the ones I'd written and co-produced. This one was all on me.
Yes.
I produced it, I wrote it, I directed it. So I couldn't be more thrilled that I got back into this beloved festival, which is just one of my most favorite festivals in the world, with a directorial and written by credit. So I was thrilled, absolutely
It's so
thrilled.
well deserved.
Thank
It's
you.
so well deserved. More women like you, please, because you're so creative and wonderful, and I'm so glad to know you.
Thank you, Tanya. Vice versa.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be back tomorrow morning with the 25th anniversary Sedona International Film Festival. More interviews, more filmmakers. You just never know what you're going to get when you tune in here, and we'll catch you on the next round.